Welcome to WZ Tales. Today's story is about a man who built a brewery and a marriage with the wrong partner, and then discovered his wife had been treating him like a mark in a long-running con. As you listen, think about the moment where you would have stopped trusting her. My wife said, "You're just the brewmaster." I replied, "Then this isn't your business anymore." Then I quietly hired a forensic accountant, froze her access, sat in court beside her silent partner, and I just watched as the real business she boasted about ended with a guilty plea. I am writing this in my head at what feels like 2 a.m., because that is when this all started to come apart for me. I met Sarah 7 years ago through mutual friends. She was getting her MBA. I was working as an assistant brewer at a local craft brewery. We clicked fast. She was smart, ambitious, driven. I was the creative one who loved the craft. She called us the perfect partnership. I handled brewing. She handled business. 3 years into dating, we got married. 2 years after that, we opened our own brewery. I ran the brewing side. Recipes, quality control, making sure every batch tasted right. Sarah ran the rest. Finances, marketing, vendors, permits, the books. It made sense. She had the business degree. I had the hops and yeast. We took out a small business loan, brought in some investor money from her old college friend Kurt, who became a silent partner with 20% and launched. The brewery did well, really well. We were in the black by month 8. We had a loyal customer base. 3 local restaurant chains picked us up. Our taproom was packed on weekends. I was proud. I was exhausted, working 70-hour weeks, but proud. Sarah closed the registers at night, did the banking, ran the reports. If she said we were tight on cash, I believed her. About a year ago, things started to feel off. We were busier than ever, selling more beer, but Sarah kept saying we needed to tighten our belts at home. No vacations. No upgrades. No extras. I trusted her, but there was that quiet voice that wondered why full weekends and full accounts did not feel like full pockets. 6 months ago, I asked to see our profit and loss statements, not to question her, just to understand. "Why do you not trust me?" she snapped. "I do," I said. "I just want to understand the business better." "You are the brewmaster, babe," she said. "I handle the real business. You would not even understand half of what you are looking at." That line cut more than I let on. This was the first red flag I really felt. She did not just shut me out, she put me in my place. I tried to brush it off, told myself I was being insecure. She had the degree, I did not. Then last month, Kurt called me. "Hey man, weird question," he said. "Did we issue bonuses this quarter?" I saw a distribution listed on the quarterly report Sarah sent. Bonuses. That was news to me. I told him I would check with Sarah. When I asked her, she laughed. "Just an accounting thing," she said. "Reconciling some expenses, do not worry about it." But I did worry about it. So I finally logged into our business bank account. We were both authorized signers, but Sarah had always handled it. I had never even used my login. What I saw made my stomach twist. Regular transfers to an account I did not recognize. 2,000 here, 3,500 there, one for 5,000. Over the past 18 months, around $87,000 had been moved out to that mystery account. I sat in my car in the brewery parking lot, hands shaking. My first thought was stolen account info. My second thought was an employee. My third thought, the one I did not want, was Sarah. I called the bank and asked about the destination account. They could not give full details over the phone, but they did confirm the transfers were started from our business account using Sarah's login to an account under the name SGM Consulting LLC. Sarah Grace Morrison, SGM. I thought maybe I was looking at something like an affair, a secret life. I was wrong. While I was searching for SGM Consulting online, I checked our state's business registration database. SGM Consulting LLC was registered 2 months before we opened the brewery. Owner, Sarah Morrison. Business address, a UPS store mailbox 3 towns away. This was not about another person. This was about another company. My wife had created a fake consulting company and had been siphoning money from our brewery almost from day one. At this point, a lot of people would rush home and confront her. Sometimes anger feels like action, but in money and legal problems, strategy matters more. I called a lawyer instead. He listened, then said the same thing many of you would say. Do not tip her off. Gather evidence first. He sent me to a forensic accountant named David, a former IRS investigator. I gave David everything: bank statements, QuickBooks files, contracts, tax returns, access to our business email. Then I went home and pretended nothing was wrong. For 2 weeks I came home every night, kissed my wife, talked about my day, let her hug me. Inside I felt sick. Every time she talked about our business, I wanted to scream. Every time she touched me, I had to force myself not to flinch. But if she guessed I was on to her, she could move money, erase trails, spin a story. 2 weeks later, David called. We need to meet, he said, and you are going to want to sit down. We met at a coffee shop far from the brewery. He opened his laptop and showed me a spreadsheet. The $87,000 I had seen was just the surface. Over 5 years, Sarah had stolen roughly $340,000 from our business. He broke it down for me. First, the consulting company. SGM Consulting billed our brewery $2,000 to $5,000 a month for business consulting services that never existed. She made fake invoices, approved them herself, then transferred the money. Second, vendor kickbacks. She inflated vendor invoices by 10 to 20%, paid the vendor the correct amount and kept the difference. At least 3 vendors were cooperating. Third, cash skimming. Our taproom does solid cash sales on weekends. She had been skimming about 15% of cash before it ever got counted. Fourth, fake employees. She ran payroll for 2 part-time employees who did not exist. Those paychecks went to accounts she controlled. Fifth, personal expenses. Her car, her gym membership, shopping trips, all run through the business as marketing or business development. Without this theft, David said, your business would be worth about $500,000 more. You could have paid off your loan, you could have expanded. He hesitated, then opened an email chain he had found in our archived business account. It was between Sarah and Kurt from 7 years ago, before the brewery, before we were even married. I read, Sarah, he is perfect, passionate about brewing, completely uninterested in the business side. Once we are married and open the brewery, he will never look at the books. Kurt, and you are sure he will not catch on. Sarah, brewers are artists, not accountants. As long as the beer is good and he feels important, he will not question anything. I sat in that coffee shop feeling my whole life tilt. According to these emails, the romance, the marriage, the brewery had all been part of a plan. Kurt looked like her accomplice. I looked like the mark. David had also found old Venmo payments between them, hotel receipts, messages that showed they had been together at trips. I thought Sarah took a loan. It felt like my entire reality had been rewritten. This is the moment a lot of people learn that love can be used as a tool, and that is a very hard lesson to unlearn. My lawyer said we had enough for criminal charges, fraud, embezzlement, conspiracy. But before we went to the police, he wanted an emergency board meeting to get everything in the open and protect the business. The next day, we sat around a conference table. Me, my lawyer, David, and Kurt. We showed Kurt the evidence, the spreadsheets, the fake company, the emails. He went pale, then red, then did something I did not expect. He pulled out his own folder. I was wondering when you would figure it out, he said. Turns out Kurt had found irregularities 6 months ago. He had started his own quiet investigation. He discovered the same fake consulting company, the same inflated invoices, but he had not been in on it. Those emails David found were from years ago, back when Sarah and Kurt first knew each other. They had dated in college. Sarah had cheated on him with multiple people, including me. Back then, she had told Kurt that I was just a fling to make him jealous. Later, she convinced him to invest in the brewery by promising they would get back together after she was done with me. He agreed because he was still in love with her. Then he realized she never planned to leave me. She was just using both of us, draining his investment and our business at the same time. I did not know if you were in on it, Kurt admitted. For a while I thought you two might be running a con on me. We sat there, two men who had both been played by the same person, staring at each other across the table. My lawyer cleared his throat. You both have evidence, he said. You can press charges separately or together. What do you want to do? We decided to join forces and bring everything to the authorities. That was yesterday. This morning, Sarah walked into the brewery around 10. I was in the back working on a new IPA, but I knew from her face that she knew something was wrong. We need to talk, she said, voice cold. I followed her into the office. She closed the door. I got a very interesting call from Kurt, she said. Apparently you two have been comparing notes. Yeah, I said. We have. You went through the business accounts without telling me, she said. You hired a forensic accountant to investigate your own wife. I hired someone to investigate fraud, I said. The fact that it is you is the unfortunate part, she laughed, a small, sharp sound. Unfortunate, that is cute. She sat at the desk and pulled something up on the computer. Here is what is going to happen, she said calmly. You are going to drop this little investigation. You are going to tell Kurt to back off, and you are going to sign these papers I had drawn up giving me full control of the brewery. Why would I do that? I asked. She turned the screen toward me. It showed our business banking system logged in under my name. I have spent the last 2 months creating a very detailed paper trail that shows you are the one who has been embezzling, she said. Transfers from your login, emails from your account, records that you created SGM Consulting, all time-stamped and documented. My blood went cold. I have been doing this a long time, babe, she said, using the pet name like a knife. You think you are the first mark. I am always 3 steps ahead. You go to the cops, they arrest you. I will be the shocked wife who trusted the brewmaster who stole from us. She stepped closer, put her hand on my chest. Sign the papers, she said. Walk away, keep your freedom, or fight me and go to prison while I keep everything. This is a classic abuser move. When exposed, they do not admit. They escalate and try to turn you into the villain. I looked at her and felt nothing but emptiness. I need time to think, I said. You have 24 hours, she replied. Choose wisely. She left. I called my lawyer. He looped in David. I explained what she had said. David actually laughed. She is bluffing, he said. She does not understand forensic accounting. He explained that every digital action leaves metadata. Login times, IP addresses, device fingerprints. She could create fake transactions from my username, but she could not fake that they all came from her laptop, from her IP address, at times when I was verifiably somewhere else. He also explained that the real fraud stretched back years. Any fake trail she made in the last 2 months would stand out as recent and staged. She is counting on you being scared and confused, David said. Her attempt to frame you will actually help the case. It shows consciousness of guilt and obstruction. My lawyer was already filing for an emergency order freezing her access to the business and sending everything to the district attorney. He told me to go home, act like I was thinking about her offer, and wait. That night, Sarah was making dinner, humming. Made your favorite, she said. Figured you need comfort food while you think things over. I looked at the woman I had married and saw a stranger. Thanks, I said. I am not really hungry. Long day. Understandable, she said. Big decision. She actually winked. I went to bed and lay there listening to her breathe, counting the hours until morning. By 8 a.m. the court filings were in. By 9 her access to the accounts was frozen. By 10 the district attorney had signed a warrant for her arrest on fraud, embezzlement, and conspiracy. By 11 2 officers were at our door. I was at the brewery when my lawyer called. It is done, he said. She has been arrested. I sat down on the brewery floor and cried, not because I wanted her back, because I finally understood that 5 years of my life had been real for me and a project for her. Sarah made bail. Her family put up their house. She is not allowed to contact me or Kurt or come within 500 feet of the brewery. The trial took months to set. In that time, Kurt and I worked to stabilize the business. We hired a bonded bookkeeper recommended by my lawyer. We set up strict controls so no one person could move money without oversight. We started to see what the brewery looked like without the slow bleed. It looked healthy. Then came the trial. The district attorney's office had discovered something else. I was not Sarah's first victim. I was not even her second. She had done this to at least 4 other men over the past decade. The pattern was the same every time. Romance, marriage or partnership, a shared venture, slowly draining money through fake expenses, then either vanishing or trying to frame them when they got suspicious. One man lost his entire life savings in a fake joint investment. Another lost his food truck. A third almost went to prison until his lawyer dug deeper. The DA asked all of us to participate. Some gave written statements. I was the only one who agreed to testify in person. I needed to see her without the script. In court, she wore a conservative dress, hair pulled back, minimal makeup. The picture of a remorseful professional who had made mistakes. When I took the stand, she watched me with a blank face. I told the truth, about the fake consulting company, about the emails, about the years of theft, about the threat and the attempt to frame me. Her lawyer tried to paint me as a bitter ex-husband. He asked if I was angry. I said yes, but anger does not create bank records. The forensic accountant followed me and walked the jury through numbers, metadata, audit trails, cold facts. 2 of the other men gave victim impact statements. They spoke about trust, about ruined credit, about years of shame. Halfway through, her lawyer tried to negotiate a plea deal. She accepted. At sentencing, the judge did not hold back. He called her a predator. He listed each way she had abused trust. 18 to 24 months in federal prison. Restitution of $340,000 to me and the brewery and more to the others. She will likely be out in less than 2 years. That part sits heavy. But now there is a record. Whatever she does next, anyone can search her name and see who she is. As for the brewery, we are recovering. Kurt and I restructured everything. He is now an active partner. We are transparent with each other. We have controls. We review reports together. We are actually profitable. It turns out when you are not losing $340,000 over 5 years, your numbers make sense. We even became friends. Sometimes we grab a beer after closing and joke very carefully that we had terrible taste in women. Had, I always correct. Past tense. We are learning. I am not dating yet. I am not ready, but I am not close to the idea someday. For now, I am rebuilding my ability to trust myself. Next month, we are launching a new flagship IPA. I call it Fresh Start. It is the first recipe I developed after all this, and honestly, it is the best beer I have ever made. If you are wondering whether I regret the 5 years with Sarah, the answer is yes. Not because of the money. We can rebuild that. I regret giving real love and partnership to someone who was only ever playing a game, but I also learned something about myself. I learned that when everything falls apart, I do not. The brewery is thriving. I am healing. Sarah is where she needs to be. Kurt and I are building something real with actual trust and eyes open. Some mornings I still wake up amazed that this was my life. That the person I married was running a con from the very start. Then I get up, go to the brewery and make beer. And slowly, that is enough. Here are some lessons from this story. Lesson 1: if your partner controls all the money and treats your questions like an insult, that is not trust. That is a power imbalance. Lesson 2: dismissing your skills while calling their own work. The real business is not a joke. It is how they really see you. Lesson 3: when you feel that something does not add up in your finances, do not gaslight yourself. Look at the numbers. Get help if you need it. Lesson 4: real partners welcome transparency. People who are hiding something will stall, deflect, or try to make you feel guilty for checking. Lesson 5: being scammed does not mean you are weak. It means someone chose to abuse your trust. How you respond after you see the truth is what defines you. Lesson 6: Put safeguards around your money and your heart. Love does not mean never verifying. It means building systems that protect both of you. What about you? At what point in this story would you have realized something was seriously wrong? And have you ever ignored a financial red flag because you did not want to rock the relationship? Share your thoughts in the comments.